Hello, everyone. Welcome to Force of Light Entertainment. I am Michelle.
And I'm Natalie the Red, and we are
Live
on this wonderful, very rainy here.
Yeah.
St. Patrick's Day.
Yes, happy St. Patrick's Day to every one of you all in the chat. And
kiss me, I'm Irish.
But actually our dad, but he came over and he was in green and he was like, we've got a lot of Irish in us. I was like,
I didn't know, but I kind of figured his side was.
Yeah.
That Native American.
Yes. Hello to everyone in the chat.
Hello.
We hope you all are doing fantastic this evening. And I don't know again how it is where you are here. I'm just hoping the power doesn't go out.
It's if you can hear the thunder, it's real out there.
Yeah, we definitely hear the thunder here. Lots of thunder. Well, we have a very special show today. Of course, we are just a few hours away. Hello, Tim. We are just a few hours away from the Justice League. So with that in mind, we thought it would be a good time to go back to 2017 when what is now called Joss-tice League came out. And at first I was going to call this a discussion, but
Let's go back to Gotham circa 2017.
But the more I thought about it, it was like, I can't just, that's kind of false advertising because it's really going to be kind of a roast of this movie. So that's what we named it the roast. And we brought back our guest, Yeticast, the wonderful Yeticast.
I mean, who better to do a roast with, really?
That's his brand, guys. Again, subscribe to his channel. His channel, for those of you watching later, his channel is in the link, Yeticast. He does roast. So we thought he'd be a great guest. So I'll bring it out in 1 second. First, I wanted to say this. Last week,
it sounds serious.
It is serious. Last week at this time, we had about 845 subscribers. 1 week later, we are over 1,500. So I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, Thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed to us.
You're right. This is serious.
It is serious. I mean, we so appreciate the support and appreciate everyone in the chat. That's awesome. My mind has been blown all week, and
we are so appreciative.
We are
that you're taking this crazy ride on YouTube with us.
It is. And so the last thing that we lack, you guys, a lot of us know from Twitter, we lack, I believe, as of this morning, around 800 watch hours before we can get monetized. So again, so many of you have been playing us. We appreciate if you would
thank you so much.
If you would keep the plays coming, just let those long ones especially keep playing, and that way we could finish this last little thing before we can get monetized. But again, we appreciate all of you so very much, and just wanted to take a moment to say thank you. So, and I want to say hello to someone that we met last week, the Geek Blend, another good channel.
Hello.
Yes. Yeah, I know they're excited for Snyder. But anyways, without further ado,
they're excited for
that Snyder. Without further ado, let's bring out our guest. And our guest is the one and only Yeticast. Yeti, how you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thanks for inviting me. I had such a good time last time.
Oh, I know.
We did too.
Clearly. We brought you back like a week later.
We're like, come on back.
Has it only been a week? Oh my God.
No, it's been like maybe a week and a half.
Still.
Yeah, it's been about a week and a half. I know. I've been so busy. Guys, if I'm ever slow to respond to any of you, I've just been super busy with life.
She has been.
So that's why. But
traveling, flying.
Yeah, lots of stuff. Work.
Like Superman. I don't mean in a plane. I mean literally she flies.
I mean, the cat's out of the bag now. But but yeah, it's only been about a week and a half since we had you, and we're having you back. So, and Yeti, where are you on the subscription list? Because I know you're working your way to 600. So tell.
Oh, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off there.
No. I just keep talking, so sometimes.
I am at 522 right now. Each time I get up to 525, it's like a bunch get erased every single time. It's happened like 4 times now this week.
My God. I
think that happens sometimes though, because we'll notice that, and then it's like, and then a few hours later they'll be back. So it's really weird.
Yeah, sometimes I almost wonder if like YouTube glitches.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know what's going on there, or if like people were watching my stuff and then suddenly like, oh no, I don't like him. Undo it.
I don't think so, because usually I have to, like, before I'll subscribe, I'll be like, check out a couple videos, like,
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that they'll come back. But yeah, guys, definitely for those of you who have not subscribed, and thank you so much,
yes, thank
Geek
you.
Blend, for the kind words. And again, so
I
nice.
feel like I'm
meeting you.
awkward tonight, like with my, like, it's like I don't know what to do with my
She's
hands.
like Ricky Bobby. She's like, I don't know what to do with my hands. Spirit
Oh,
fingers.
don't worry. You're awkward every night, so nothing changed.
It's true. This is, if anything's true, that's definitely it. My very being is awkward.
I mean, I can be pretty dang awkward myself too. But anyways, so definitely, guys,
It's part of my charm.
if you like roast, go subscribe to Yeticast. Fantastic roast of different movies.
Yes.
Are you working on anything? I think you're working on a Justice League one, aren't you?
Yes. I'm trying to do a real quick one to have out right before the Snyder Cut gets released. So I just want to have a quick laugh, and I've been writing jokes for most of the day that seem way too inappropriate, but you'll get to hear them later because I don't have enough time to try and rewrite any of that. so going into editing.
Well, that will definitely be we'll definitely be on the lookout for that, because
Yeah.
I'm sure it's going to be fun.
I've watched all your the past few videos. I love them. Go subscribe to Yeticast.
Yeah, and I was letting some of your streams play last night, because I know you needed some hours too as you work your way up to 1,000 subs. So I'm trying to pay it.
Pay it forward.
Well, I guess I'd be paying it backward because they're doing it for us now. So now I'm going back to
we're making it right.
We're trying.
Oh, I appreciate that. And I don't know if I said congratulations already. Your rise has been just phenomenal to watch, because
Thank you.
it was like just a skyrocket. It was amazing.
It was literally like Superman taking off.
It was. What can we say?
Henry Cavill style, but thank you so much. Yeah, it was kind of shocking, I think, to me and to Natalie both. So, but yeah,
Yes.
excited for it.
Yes, very excited.
Well, now that we've got our small talk out of the way,
Coffee talk.
yeah, coffee talk. We will move in tonight to talking about the 2017 movie. It's called Justice League, but we're going to call it Joss-tice League. That old Joss Whedon.
Doing them dirty.
It's
I
even
didn't know bridge trolls were real until I saw him.
It's even hard for me to say Joss. It's like Josh wants to roll off the tongue, but it's Joss.
Yeah, well, that's how you know he was going to grow up to be an asshole. Like his parents named Joss. Who does that? Who does that? That's just setting the kid up for failure.
They're like, just.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're discussing the Joss-tice League, the disaster that is the Joss-tice League. And I just want, so this movie came out November 17th, 2017, for those of you who maybe have kind of forgot. It is kind of forgettable. And
Starting the roast early, I see.
This movie, its box office, it made with all the superheroes in it, with Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman, the trio right there. It can't be dynamic duo, but the holy trinity of DC, plus the Flash, plus Aquaman, plus Cyborg.
Happy birthday, Bob!
Oh my gosh! Happy birthday to Bob!
Happy birthday!
Yes, I hope you've had an awesome birthday / St. Patty's Day, Bob. So yes, thank you. Or happy birthday. I said thank you. It's been a long day, guys. But happy birthday to Bob. So anyways, with all these heroes in it, this movie came in at a little over $650 million, which the break-even point for this movie was $750 million. So it lost the studio a significant chunk of change.
That it did.
God, well, they rushed it. They rushed this entire thing. It
Yes.
was not ready to go to this level. You know, the Avengers had each movie set up, and some of them were rebooted during that entire time because they were just terrible. They were trying to figure out their own formula. But in this movie, they're like, no, we have to catch up. They just did theirs, so we got to put something out. And it was not good.
Exactly. Like they definitely should have. I feel like you should have probably had a Flash movie at this point, or at least an Aquaman movie. At least you can't introduce 3 new characters. Like pick.
I know.
It was kind of weird to go back and see some of these characters, like you said, Aquaman, the Flash, and realize they hadn't had their own movies yet.
Well, I mean, the Flash still hasn't.
Oh, true.
So I think they're still trying to decide, do they want Ezra Miller as the Flash for the Flash movie? So
what's the deal with that?
Ezra Miller?
Yeah.
Well, I think this movie was just such a disaster, and
Like people didn't like him as the Flash, or like is it something in his personal life?
I think kind of a mix sometimes. Yeti, what's your take on that one?
Well, you know, I thought they were trying to make it into this, mystery movie where he goes around choke slamming pregnant women. That's
Doesn't happen in real life. No.
yes,
Are you serious?
Actually,
Yes.
Was she pregnant?
yes, she was. She was a pregnant woman.
Yeah, I think
Oh my gosh.
there's been some things that happened, like in a Swedish bar. I think that
I think it was Iceland.
Iceland
Or
okay.
Greenland.
Okay, Greenland.
It's somewhere around there. It was cold. It was. Yeah, I think it's got to be Greenland. Somebody else can fact check me here.
Yeah, so I think you are right. I knew it was one of those.
I guess if it's anything related to that, obviously there's going to be a little controversy.
Yeah, there is.
I mean, that's pretty bad.
So it's kind of like I feel like it's still up in the air. Is Ezra Miller the Flash or not? And it's kind of like, can we make up our mind on that one? Like, is he?
I don't know about you guys, but I thought he was terrible in the role too. He just seemed off.
He makes me seem not awkward.
Is Barry Allen, because I'm not ultra familiar with the Flash before this movie, is Barry Allen, is he super awkward? Like, is that a part of his character?
See, I don't know enough about Barry Allen's backstory, but I know just the way he was kind of portrayed, I did not get any hero vibes from him. You know, the other guys, when you look at Henry Cavill, like, okay, yeah, definitely Superman. But when I was looking at Ezra, I did not get, oh yeah, that guy's fast, you know?
Yeah. I would say, because one thing that of course Zack Snyder cast this movie, one thing that he's done is he's been excellent at casting. So it'll be interesting to see if he's better tomorrow when we get the Snyder cut. But he does seem to be a slight awkward fit for that role, because he's just he seems like kind of a weird dude in real life.
Well, he seems like, and there's nothing wrong with this, he strikes me as kind of an artsy guy,
but to the max.
To the max.
Oh yeah, I think he is.
Like, he definitely only drinks soy lattes.
I was gonna say a soy boy, but then I was like, maybe I should. Maybe that's too mean.
Oh, well, okay. So I don't even know if we can go by he, because I think, this is so hard, because how do you even say, I think says he's non-binary.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, I'm not even sure then of his pronouns, because
I don't even know. I don't know how to refer to this right now. My mind hurts.
Yeah. I do remember him coming out saying that. So we don't really know how to refer to it. We'll just call him then I just said again, we'll call him Ezra Miller.
Hey, sure we will. We'll audition anytime.
What is it?
Let's see. Hello to you. No,
there we go.
Yeah.
So he is just kind of awkward in the role. So we'll see what happens with that. But you're so right, though, of why we went down that rabbit trail.
Sorry.
Can I just say quickly, my brother had sent me this thing. It was actually like Piers Morgan. They had done this interview with this family in Florida who the whole family was non-binary. And because when they had a baby, they didn't want the baby.
Basically, Piers Morgan just kept pressing because he really didn't know what to refer to the family as.
But they had it. It was a baby instead of.
I know that's a real thing now. Oh my God.
But I'm not. No, I shouldn't say I'm not trying to make fun. I mean, it was hard to get your mind around, and he's like, well, does she, I mean, what do they call the oldest sister? Do they say, this is my sister or this is my sibling they?
Natalie, are you like trying to get us canceled?
Okay.
Yeah, I know. Justice League. So Ezra Miller in the Justice League.
But it is, guys. It is interesting. So we don't know what Ezra Miller prefers to be called, but regardless,
Ezra is going to be in the Flash.
Okay, so he is going to be in the Flash, but
I liked him in Perks of Being a Wallflower. If you guys have ever seen that,
yeah, he is good. I don't know what the pronouns are there, so I'm saying he because he's a male
because that's what we know now.
Yeah, that's what we know.
That's the information we're provided.
That is what I'm provided in this moment. But regardless, what you're saying. The movie was rushed, and that's pretty obvious, and I think that's why probably, and I know we're going to a 4-hour cut of it tomorrow, but at the very least this movie probably needed to be 3 hours since they hadn't laid the groundwork for Cyborg, the Flash, and Aquaman. So
yeah,
Cyborg is his cousin that flips burger down by the
abandon the river.
Yeah. Oh my God, I butchered that. Jeez.
Happens to the best of us.
Oh.
So, well, I called him Cyborg, so whatever.
And the villain's name is Steppenwolf. Is that correct?
Yes, Steppenwolf.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, Natalie actually. I rewatched this movie last week, and I think Natalie rewatched it yesterday.
And this is going to be very telling, I guess, of how I felt about the movie initially, because Michelle told me before I rewatched it, she said, you saw this in 2017. I said, no, I didn't. I have no memory of it. And, and then I'm watching it, and it's almost like a dream that was like a long time ago. It's almost like I have seen this before. I guess it was just blocked from my
I mean,
I just said, something's bad when you've no memory of it.
The one thing you could say about Steppenwolf is he was born to be wild.
They should have played that song during this.
They really should have.
I'm glad you got that reference.
We definitely got the reference. Yeah, this movie. So my feeling, and that's what I was going to ask. So what were your initial thoughts? Did you see this movie in theater, and what were your thoughts when you first saw this, Yeti?
No, I didn't see it in theater. I kind of got tapped out of so many of the different superhero movies. I wasn't excited for a bunch, so it took me a while to see it. But when I finally did, I regretted my decision instantly. It was a mess. I don't know what was going on with Steppenwolf. His helmet looks like he's wearing a metal scrotum.
It's pretty, and that's something I was going to get into, and you guys in the chat let us know too. I mean, when I went back and rewatched this,
I think that was so well said. I couldn't put my finger on.
Is it that, or it also is kind of like a pirate hat? Is it to the side,
or kind of like a Viking type?
Now I need to go back and see a picture of his helmet. My mind already forgot from a week ago.
It was a lame Celtic scrotum.
So it's a good time.
Oh my God.
So
do you regret bringing me on yet?
No. Yeah, you're not the one getting us canceled over here with our story of Piers Morgan.
I respect the baby. I take it back.
Oh my God.
But yeah, so that was kind of your take. My take, when I left, I was like just so excited because this was the same year, a few months before, we had just got Wonder Woman, which is still my personal favorite movie of the DCEU to this point. I would probably say Man of Steel like on its hill at this point. But so I was just excited to see Wonder Woman, to see I'd actually enjoyed Batman v Superman, to see Superman come back. So when I left, I was like, yeah, it was okay. But then like my true feelings came out later by me realizing I didn't care I did care. I didn't really want to rewatch it. And then when
and Michelle is a rewatcher. So
am.
for me, it's like totally forgetting something. For you, it's not wanting to rewatch it.
Yes. And so then I rewatched it like a week ago. And when I rewatched it a week ago, I was like, oh my gosh, this movie is terrible. Like, I understand why the people were so mad that were DC fans when they left the theater, because this is really bad.
I know you do have to give Henry Cavill some credit, because he did have a stroke on the movie and he acted his way through the entire thing.
Wait a minute. Who had a stroke on the movie?
Oh, okay. Do you remember his CGI face where it's all just disfigured and he's jacked up?
Oh, I got you. Because we're going to get into that, because that's one of the things. Literally, they had to CGI Henry Cavill's mustache off his face.
Oh, I noticed he looked kind of okay. Now it all makes sense, because I noticed he looked kind of odd in some scenes. Now it's all coming together.
Kind of. Oh,
the understatement of the day.
that was rough. Like, I don't know what was going on there. I don't remember why they had to do that. Why he couldn't just shave.
Oh, I can tell you, because
it's not hard to shave.
No. He was under contract with Universal because he was in the movie with Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible, and his character had a big mustache. And they would not, because he came back for the reshoots. These were in the reshoots, and Universal in the contract, he could not shave his mustache.
My gosh, some serious stash contract.
So instead, they made him a stroke victim.
So it will be interesting to see, because I think that scene is actually in Zack Snyder's Justice League version. So it'll be interesting to see why he felt the need to change that scene so much that they had to get CGI'd Henry Cavill.
No, you're not the only one, Clay.
Yeah, he looked bad. And that's something with everyone rewatching it. So like the opening scene of this movie, the Batman sequence, which I'm a huge Batman fan. And the Batman, hello to Josh, the Batman sequence, the CGI is so bad.
Well, it's bad from the opening scene, so it doesn't really set a great tone for the movie.
No.
Well, it's bad for most of the scenes. I think it's really bad for most of them, not just that one.
But I can say this. I have, like, for PlayStation, I have the VR. And when I first got it, there was this Batman VR game. And I can say, after playing that game, that the graphics in the VR Batman game, I think, were better than the start of this movie, Gotham City.
I would say a lot of video games are better, their graphics.
I didn't know what was going on there. The setup was, it didn't make any sense. I actually went back and I had to look through what happened in the previous movie to see if I ended up missing something, just because it seemed very odd and everything was jumping around. It didn't seem cohesive. Like there was some serious story structure issues going on.
This is a good point by Geek Blend. He says Batman says Alfred in front of the criminal.
Oh God.
He's like, if he picks up who he is.
If it slips, it slips.
That's a good point. Oh.
That is pretty bad. Well, and Natalie, just tell them what you thought happened. Okay, guys. So Natalie texts me as she's watching this. So tell them what you thought Batman said to the criminal.
Okay, so I must not have like heard it quite right, because I thought Batman, in his Batman voice is like, I smell fear. And I thought he was saying it to the criminal, and I thought, how does he smell fear? Did the guy crap his pants and he smells it? I mean, what's going on here?
And I was like, Natalie, no, he says they smell fear.
I was like, oh, got it. Got it.
But regardless, that scene was just, it was
Bad.
bad. It was really bad.
That was the setup that just didn't make sense. We didn't know that they were, fear based, that they search for fear, but it was entirely necessary for the end of the movie, because Steppenwolf is suddenly afraid, so they attack him.
Yes. Yeah.
So they had to have that in there, but it was shoehorned in, and it didn't make any sense.
That's a good point.
Yeah, it did it. And it was just really bad. And the CGI throughout this movie is just, as you said, is truly terrible. But, something else on top of the CGI.
How serious you said that like a news reporter. The CGI throughout this movie was truly terrible.
But something else that stands out to you, especially
Back to you, Yeti.
but especially after you watch like Man of Steel, or actually, or when you watch Batman v Superman, the coloring, because of course the studios, after they push Zach out, they wanted a Marvel movie. They wanted it to just be a fun, cheesy, action-packed.
It was definitely cheesy
movie, and to be bright and happy. And so the coloring of this movie is so bad, and just so does not match anything that has come before it, including Wonder Woman that had just came out a few months before.
Yeah.
Like a scene that stands out to me, you guys can let me know if there's any scene that stands out to you, is like when Lois Lane and Clark are in the cornfield, and her hair is so bright. Like,
yes.
It's like Ariel standing there all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It's just like,
it was
what
very
happened?
washed out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or oversaturated.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the right one. Not washed out.
Yeah, like it didn't even make Amy Adams look as pretty as Amy Adams is, because I think they played with it so much that it as you said, it washed her out.
I mean, lighting can make or break. I'll be the first to tell you. I'm the selfie queen.
I do wonder if that was on the green screen too, or did they actually film it in a field? Just because everything about that scene it felt off.
It did.
And I really couldn't tell, because I knew they were messing around with the colors in post, but I couldn't tell if they were actually in some sort of field. Plus, I was very distracted by the Bell's palsy Henry Cavill. That was driving me nuts, especially in that one scene there, because he goes to smile and it's just, oh my God, it's a nightmare.
Well, you have to work like, guys, the way we know Joss Whedon is so talented is he messes up Henry Cavill's face.
I mean, how do you do that?
I think he was jealous.
He's like, we're gonna make you look bad for once in your life.
He's like, here you go. I'm gonna give you your removal of this mustache. Yeah, but I think you're right, Yeti. I really wondered, because that scene looks so bad, especially because I had just watched the other two Zach movies. So that same exact cornfield doesn't look like the same exact cornfield, and it makes me wonder, because I know especially for Man of Steel that they did shoot. Well, no, and in I think for Batman versus Superman, they filmed throughout Illinois in different places. So it makes you wonder, were they really on a cornfield for that? And then this was just a big green screen, because it it feels like a green screen.
Well, because I think that was part of the reshoots, unless I'm misremembering some of the scenes.
Thank you to the Geek Blend, who he's a big DC fan. He says over half the cornfield scene was reshot. Okay, with that in mind, if over half of that was reshot, I am so interested to see if Amy Adams and Henry deliver this line. She looks at him and says, "You smell good."
I know. I was like, what?
And he goes, "Did I not before?" And it was just like, this just doesn't feel like them.
And it was like, what was the point of this line? Was it because he had been a corpse just a few minutes ago, and that they wanted the audience to know he does not smell like death? Like, what is this line?
That was definitely the Joss Whedon. However you say that guy's name, his flair of writing and trying to throw in some witty repartee. It was garbage.
I mean, it was the I hate sand.
You smell good. Like, I'm sure Amy Adams like cringed on the inside having to say that line out loud.
He's like, thanks. It's Old Spice.
It was terrible.
She was still probably, distracted from his bouncing pecs. So she was probably okay. That's how they got her to read it.
She's like, death becomes you.
But they had those type of lines all throughout the movie.
Yes. That's what I was gonna say. The cheesy lines in this movie are so bad. Like, just so many of these lines are terrible.
It doesn't fit the tone.
No.
Well, and did anybody else feel like Batman was like everybody's grumpy old dad? In this movie, like he just seems kind of like, all right, come on, kids, let's get in the car and go on an adventure. I don't know. He didn't feel quite. Did you tell me he kind of like when they did some of the reshoots, he gained
a lot of weight?
I could tell. I mean, that's not a put down, but you could physically see it.
Oh, so you really could. You really could tell.
He had his dad bod going.
So within the movie, you have Batman fluctuating weight.
He's like this, and then he's like,
yeah, he was like shoved into that bat suit like a piggy in a blanket. One of those snacks. He's just jammed in there.
When he got in the suit, it's like a woman getting zipped up in a tight dress. Like, they're
like, guys, we're gonna need to sew him in this one. They're like, hurry.
Or better yet, it's the episode of Friends where Ross puts the lotion on his leg so he can get the leather pants up.
And Affleck's like, now it's chafing. Trying to get that thing off.
We're going to need a clamp. Get in here. Get the clamps.
They just have to cut them out.
They need the jaws of life to free them.
So you've got that, and then plus on top of that, you've got the mustache. There was a lot going on.
That mustache is very distracting. I could not get past that.
The whole intro with Superman in general is a little. It just doesn't feel right after you've watched Man of Steel or Batman v Superman, and you get like this cheesy version of Superman.
Yeah. I thought it seemed like they're trying to do the Happy Gilmore beginning, where there's the home videotapes with the happy music playing. I thought it was a joke at first. I got the wrong copy.
You're right. With that, I thought this just does not feel like a DC movie.
In fact, do you know what? Didn't that kind of copy Spider-Man? Doesn't one of the Spider-Mans have a scene like that where the kids are filming him and he talks to the kids in the camera, but it fits because Peter Parker's a total nerd?
Oh, I can't remember, but I know for the tone, the tone of all the movies that were set up before, it made sure it didn't work. But Spider-Man has always been a little bit lighter. It doesn't have that dark undertone where everything is edgy and he's being all serious. No, he's a wisecracking guy that's jumping around everywhere. So it's flashier and lighter, but it didn't fit here. And that was a mistake they made with Superman in the first place, because he's not really supposed to have that dark feel to him. He's about hope. Zack Snyder didn't really, I don't think he understands that character well enough. I think he could probably do a pretty good Batman movie if given like the right material and story. He could probably have a very good gritty tone to him. But yeah, the tones were always wrong for Superman. So my feeling is Joss Whedon came in to try and lighten that tone, but it doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't work at all. Like I actually like I've gone back and watched, and I really don't have a problem with Snyder's version of Superman. But like you said, regardless, the tone,
Man of Steel, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
the tones just don't fit in this movie. And as people are saying in the chat, in all fairness, Joss Whedon was beholden to the studios just as much as
and kind of brought in at the midnight hour.
but
Because aren't they kind of like, okay, we want this out, like, and we want it
Yes.
changed.
But let me tell you something that Joss Whedon definitely did. That's all Joss Whedon. So anyways, so there's a scene. You guys may know it. I'm sure you do if you've watched this movie. And in the scene, Wonder Woman, she falls back, and the Flash happens to fall right in the middle of her chest. We'll just word it that way. And
it was quick. I'll give it.
It was
that.
quick, but
Well, it would be with her. Can you blame the guy?
He's only human.
And here's the thing too. So Gal Gadot, it's reported she was like, no, like I'm not doing that. Like I think she felt like kind of degraded as a person, but also as the character of Diana that she had just played.
Yeah.
And she was like, no. So he said, all right, whatever. And he got a stunt devil to do this gag, which does kind of belittle Wonder Woman for no reason.
It's like at that point she should have just done it because it still looks like her character did it. So what does it matter?
Well, I think it was just her point, and then he did it behind her back.
Oh, that stinks.
And here's the thing, guys.
I was picturing he got a stunt double and like pushed them into her. That's like, oh, you don't want it done? Okay, shove.
She would like be enraged, but then what gets it better is when WandaVision came out, I went back to watch Age of Ultron, which I also hated, which was Joss Whedon. And I couldn't even get through it all, guys. I really just didn't like it. But come to find out, rewatching that movie, Salacious reenacts the scene. I'm sure he does. I have a feeling Salacious does. But anyways, so in Age of Ultron, the exact scene took place years before this Justice League. It happens between Black Widow. She falls back, and Mark Ruffalo's character lands in her chest. So when I rewatched Justice League, I was like, are you freaking kidding me?
Like you copied the same move.
You did the exact same 13-year-old boy joke that you thought was funny the first time with Scarlett Johansson. And even after Gal was like, no, I don't want to do that. You're like, no, it's a good joke. I'm going to put it in.
It's a must.
I like that impersonation of him. We need more of that.
It was just like, really, dude?
The world needs more. The one positive I will give this, let's see. Yeah, I could have
One
done
positive.
Well, what's that positive?
Okay, I told Michelle when I was watching it, I was kind of texting her throughout. Wonder Woman's scene in the bank was like not bad.
But come to find out, that's Zack Snyder.
And then she told me that.
He just has that scene longer, and we'll see how the color tone of that is.
And I told her it could have even just been the music because it gets me every time.
Yeah, her
The music is good. I will get like the music for Wonder Woman. It's very fitting. It's kind of hopeful, but it also does feel a little ridiculous to me when I was watching that. You know, she jumps down from the ceiling just to like throw at her forearm, and it's like ting. Okay, if that's what you're gonna block all bullets with, because then she's like flipping around on the ground, just hitting every single bullet with her arms. Like, okay, why don't you just make the armor out of that, you know, and just jump down and just stand there instead of the one spot on your forearm.
Because she wants an arm workout while protecting people.
It looks good, Yeti. That's why.
Oh, it looked good. It looked very good. Dude, I have no complaints about that.
I mean, she's just like how we go on about Henry Cavill as a male. It's like I feel that way equally about her as a female. Like
she's quite the same.
She just, she does things for me, and I mean that totally as a straight woman.
I think we need to hear more about this. I think the chat will agree with me on this. That let's get the takes on how Wonder Woman makes you feel.
She releases endorphins.
I mean, she is quite stunning. We'll give her that. And then you also get, there's just so many scenes in this movie. And Yeti, feel free to bring up any scene that stands out to you.
Oh, I've got one. Can I go?
What?
Okay, and Yeti, I want to get your take on this.
Okay.
You know how in Marvel, like when they do the Avengers and stuff like that, you'll notice they love to do, it's almost like, I think they think the audience, and I'm not saying they don't, but they think the audience likes, okay, like this superhero is putting down this superhero. This is super funny, you know, and not that it's not, but it's like, I think they tried to do that in this movie with like Batman and Aquaman, but it was just super cheesy.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You know, it's like, oh, you're with the fish, and you know, and Aquaman's like, oh, you're a bat, you know, and it's just like, so
it doesn't work with the tone, especially with Batman. Batman cracking jokes. I figure he'd probably go with like some very dark comedy if he did. It'd be something you don't expect either. It'd probably get him canceled on Twitter. That's for sure.
That's easily done.
That's easily done. Yeah. So maybe that's not a good judge, but you're so right. It did not fit. Like,
yeah, just out of place and kind of awkward.
And I think Tim's right. It was forced because they were just copying
was my
Marvel.
thought. Like it was very much a Marvel copy of that prototype they do of like, oh, let's have the superheroes make fun of each other.
Well, and something I would say too. Chicks
take the car.
Yeah, that line.
I mean, that's true. That would be fun. that could actually work. And okay, here's the one joke that I actually did think was set up better and was kind of well received was the lasso of truth.
Yes, absolutely. That was like the one funny one. It landed.
Yeah, because he's stoic and serious, and then he starts talking about how he enjoys being a part of this team to save the Earth, and then he realizes
he's not scared to die.
Yeah. that was set up really well. But what wasn't set up was the lasso of truth. I think her opening scene where she gets a bad guy with the lasso, and she's like, you are in the lasso of truth. That means you have to tell me the truth. Like, okay, that's really how you're going to set this up. You're not going to show him, struggling not to, spill his guts. You have Wonder Woman telling the bad guy what he has to do with this lasso of truth.
Well, exactly. And you actually, that's a good point, because in Wonder Woman, that again had just come out a few months before this, when Steve Trevor's under the lasso of truth, that's when he's like, I'm a spy. He's struggling, and he's spitting out the truth because he can't help it.
Yeah.
Right.
Like some things you don't have to tell. You just let be seen.
Yeah.
Please tie me up more, Wonder Woman.
And I love how she says that every time she does somebody. She's like, the rope compels you.
She's like the lasso compels you to tell the truth.
Like every time it's the same delivery.
Like that's what I didn't understand with this. I think Wonder Woman is probably one of the most well-known characters, behind Batman, Superman, and maybe Spider-Man. But Wonder Woman is up there. If you go to ask any kids, they're going to know who Wonder Woman is. Yes. And I think everybody kind of knows the lasso of truth is associated with Wonder Woman. Yeah. So you already, for most people, especially the people that are going into this film in particular, because this had to be an R rating or something, right? Or was it PG-13?
This was PG-13.
Okay.
And we got what we got.
Okay, well, even then, I think most people would fully understand that Wonder Woman has a lasso of truth, so you don't need to explain it every single time that it's out there.
Well, and a good point you making that is, say, like with the Aquaman scene, she doesn't tell him, because they're setting up the joke. she doesn't tell him that it's on him and he has to tell the truth. He just all of a sudden begins to tell the truth, and the audience understands.
Yeah, right.
I bet you anything that one was set up by Zack Snyder.
Probably. And it'll be interesting to see if that
We're just blaming all the shortcomings.
I know.
I just said Joss. Whedon.
Joss. Remember, it's Joss.
He's like, that's 2 S's.
Well, and something too that I want to bring up is, well, first I want to say go back to something Tim said about how they tried to make it too Marvel. And that's something I really hope that DC learns from their mistake of Justice League.
In a moment of from the heart, like, be yourself.
Yeah.
Be true to yourself. But
Like,
seriously.
DC and Marvel have always been different.
Yeah.
They've always had different tones even. And just let it be that way. Like, we don't need everything to be the same.
That way, like, leave something for everybody, kind of whatever tone you tend to like.
Yeah.
Well, there are characters that can be done in a different tone. It's just, I don't think they understand their own characters. And I also think they bought so heavy into the way Christopher Nolan was writing and directing Batman that, people loved that. So like, oh, we have to go dark. They want dark and gritty. Okay, well, that works for Batman. And that worked for his version of Batman, because his is a very realistic, grounded version where there's less of the superhero element. Bane's just a tough guy. He's not jacked up on serum and stuff like that. He's just a bad guy that's strong.
Yeah.
So that tone is set there, but they got so obsessed with it that they put it in all of their other movies. And now they don't know how to break away from it. And once they saw Marvel doing this lighter side of thing and how successful that was becoming, they just tried to jump course. Like, oh no, this is in now. Let's go that way.
Well, and do you know, there's 2 movies that the DCEU has done that I think perfectly struck a balance of finding its own tone, like having some dark, gritty. Like, when I say gritty, I just mean like,
but that word comes up a lot for DC because a lot of times it is a little more gritty, and that's part of what I like about it.
When I say that, I mean, okay, so Marvel has gone so down the fantasy element, like so fantasy. When I say dark and gritty, I just mean a little more, I guess, grounded is what I'm looking for.
Yeah. Right.
And I think what the 2 movies that to me struck this amazing balance of grounded, more emotionally driven, plus adding good humor was Wonder Woman and then Shazam. I think they both found their own lane that truly work in a DC way.
I would add a Joker too.
Well, yeah.
I was gonna say that's probably my favorite of all time.
well, and that's of course not in the DCEU. That's why.
Okay, fair enough.
That's just
I
a
guess,
piece of art all on its own, I guess.
But you do make a very good point with Shazam, and I actually forgot about that because they did a very good job setting up their humor in that world. Although it was still a little bit darker, because it wasn't flashy colors, but it was the humor was set up so it didn't feel out of place and it flowed well for that entire movie. And that's what they needed to do with their different characters. Superman really needed to have that more hopeful tone to it. And that probably would have saved some of their, that expectation that everything is super gritty.
Yeah.
But I know they desperately wanted to get Christopher Nolan. So they had him write it, and they would not let Zack Snyder change anything that was written by Christopher Nolan for the movie. So he was very handcuffed to what had to be put on screen.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. I was reading some of the chats too, different stuff. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like I really like Man of Steel, but I understand people's criticism of it. what Man of Steel is.
Isn't dark at all, just grounded and serious.
It's very serious. That's the
But
word
what
I would actually use for Man of Steel. It's serious.
Yeah.
Not. I don't think it's dark. I think that's a great comment.
And
It's
I also
not.
think it's okay if this makes sense. Like Batman and Superman are probably never going to be like comedians. Like they're probably never going to be super funny, and that's okay. Like that's not their role.
No, that's not their character. They're not that type of character at all.
Yes.
No. and if you try and make them be too much, it's probably just not going to work.
No, it won't. Which showed in this version of the movie.
Well, and the answer to this question is no. We're not talking about that because it's not in the MCE. I mean the DCEU. But
I do love that one.
Yeah, I do love that.
So
movie.
dang good.
Well, it's so, and two, speaking of something else in this movie, so what about the Russian family? Because Whedon just keeps focusing on this Russian family.
I noticed that.
And like nothing really happens with it besides the Flash saves them randomly. I mean, saves them at the end.
I think it was just to emotionally connect you to like these were real people that were like witnessing this happening, and you were supposed to feel kind of emotionally like, oh, it's a family and they're in trouble, and oh, now they're saved, and I think that was kind of the point of the Russian
Totally
family.
forgot about that. You're so right. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. It just
doesn't. It's just another thing that's out of place. I forgot all about it.
Well, and then my favorite thing in the movie, rewatching it, is at the end, after Superman has come back, after they've saved the Russian family and they've saved the world by those things smelling the fear and turning on Steppenwolf. Is it Steppenwolf? Yeah, Steppenwolf. At the end,
Brother Steppenwolf.
At the end, all of a sudden it's like a Disney movie where like at the end of Beauty and the Beast, like the castle transforms and turns back to its beautiful natural state.
They're on a magic carpet ride.
And all of a sudden at the end of this movie, like this big purple flowers begin to blossom all over this.
But I'm like explaining this to Michelle today, and she's like, well, yeah, Natalie, I get that, but why?
I was like, that's fine.
Like, because everything was dark and they're trying to show like life came back and it's all good now.
The Steppenwolf was generic trash. I would have to agree.
He wasn't a good villain.
No, he really wasn't. The voice acting for him. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that I thought the voice acting for him was wrong. It didn't come across to me as powerful or threatening.
He wasn't scary.
No, he didn't look scary, and he really didn't sound scary. Let's see, who's a good example? The Pirates of the Caribbean, the octopus guy. That voice, that is a threatening voice. That is so good.
Like it makes that character intimidating when he's on screen, even though it's CGI.
Yes. Yeah, you could feel the bass, and you just get a little tenser when he starts talking. In this one, I thought he was choking on golf balls. It just.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Well, and I wanted to bring up this. Cher says, what about Cyborg? He's barely in it. And that's a good point, because that goes back to how we started this, of how they rushed this movie, because we know nothing about Cyborg. I mean, for those of us that don't have some comic, we know nothing about the movie Cyborg.
Yeah.
And this character's just thrown in, and they give him very little setup, like very little.
And he's like really angry the first half of the movie.
Yeah, I mean, I understand.
I mean, understandably so.
He lost most
he's like,
of his body.
I'm more machine now than man type of deal.
I don't know, that's something you'd usually say as a pickup line. I'm a machine.
I mean, really, it's pretty cool. Oh, and that scene when he and Superman, like they've just defeated Steppenwolf and they're up on the ceiling together. They had both landed up there. And it's just kind of like so cheesy. It's actually funny, when he's like a machine. He's like, man, my feet are ticklish, or they're itchy, and I don't even know how that's possible. And then Superman just breaks out into a big laugh. It was just like, it was so cheesy. It actually made me laugh.
Do you realize I forgot that, and I just watched it a week ago? So
yeah, I can't.
It's like, yeah, man, that's funny.
I honestly don't remember that happening at all. I do not remember it.
I think our brains have blocked certain things from our memories.
Like I said, I didn't remember the entire movie until I rewatched it yesterday.
It was, yeah, they had to have movies set up for each of the characters, so much of the film didn't take place trying to introduce, Aquaman and Cyborg and the Flash. If they had movies set up, you could probably take back at least 45 minutes of that movie to build into a more threatening story that had better structure for why Steppenwolf was a bigger threat.
Yeah, like there's some context missing.
Yeah.
Gosh, what was I thinking? You can go on.
And bring them together at the end of one of those films.
Yeah.
So that you don't have to have everyone trying to get together, for 30 minutes and Batman saying, oh yeah, there's this big threat. There's a big threat. And then you could start kind of jumping into it like Infinity War,
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, I'll tell you one more joke that kind of worked for me, and you guys might disagree. I'm trying to give credit where credit's due. They'll let the few moments shine that maybe did. But when Superman comes back and he knows Batman, at first they're like mad and they have an altercation. And Superman was like, "Well, I thought you hated me," and he's like, "Well, I don't know." The way he worded it or something was kind of cute. Like
someone put that in the chat, but they didn't think it was funny.
I'm reaching here. Okay?
He says, "I don't not hate you.
I don't not hate you,"
or something like that. Yeah.
A little bromance forming.
And hello to a Black Jedi.
Hey there, ABJ.
Hey.
Oh, and Justin is lost.
Hey, Justin.
Hello,
hey.
Justin.
I hope you are found.
Maybe one of these days he'll get found.
I've got a search warrant out right now for you.
But yeah, I mean, there are. I mean, some of the jokes can land and make you laugh, definitely. But it just, as we've said throughout this thing, the tone was just so bad, and the jokes on top of the tone, it was really, really terrible.
The other thing I didn't realize, because Aquaman hadn't come out yet. Of course, I didn't remember because I didn't remember the entire movie.
You got Amber Turd.
I didn't remember that Amber Turd.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about her. God, I really hope that she's not in the future Aquaman. I really, yeah.
I mean, so far it doesn't seem they've made anything official that she won't be. So I mean, who knows?
Yeah,
there's been rumors.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so we'll see what they do with that, because Amber Turd is not. People don't really. She doesn't seem to have a big fan base these days.
I mean, when you're being called Amber Turd, it's not going well for you personally.
Well, she's immensely unlikable. If you ever hear her speak, you're just like, okay, yeah, I'm staying away from you. I'm staying very, very far away.
She kind of radiates crazy and like not in a like loving, endearable way, like endearing way.
Yeah.
What's the endearing way of crazy?
Well, I've definitely known people. It's like, yeah, they're a little crazy, but
they're fun.
But their heart is good, or like they're funny, But then there's like Amber Turd crazy. And I'll just say it here. I mean, we don't know what happened, but I'm Team Johnny Depp.
Well, I think we know a lot of what happened. She like cut off his finger and then shat on the bed.
I heard that. That is crazy. Like she literally dumped on the bed. I mean, like, really?
Yes,
that's what I heard.
That's why everybody calls her Amber Turd.
I never put that together.
Oh my god! I thought
I've never known that was the reason why. I just knew she was Amber Turd.
Like she defecated on his bed.
Yeah, literally.
Like, who does that?
It's just, I kind of want to know if it was in the sheets or above.
He like climbs in the sheets the next night. He's like, oh.
Because like, what level of depravity did she bring this to? Is it supposed to just be a visual thing of how disappointed she is, or was she going in for the kill? Like, oh, you hurt me, so I'm gonna make sure you have a miserable night.
She totally did.
Like put there like one of those little hotel chocolates.
It was very pebble-like.
And then at the end of the bed had a folded towel that looks like a crane.
She's like, for you to better clean up with.
I mean, she basically, like, do you realize that's a move that sometimes cats will make if they're mad at their owner? Like if their owner leaves them too long. So she's just literally
And I will say, I've had 4 and none of mine have ever done that. So if that says something. So, I mean, most cats don't even resort to that when they're mad.
But she went to the most animalistic thing she could do.
Is that the most animalistic though? Because I don't know many animals that resort to that. I know ones that are like frustrated because you don't let them outside, but don't go willingly deuce on your pillow.
You're
He
right.
had not let
It's
her out
true.
to use the bathroom.
That's probably what she'll tell the court.
Well, and not to mention, gosh, now we're just getting into the drama, the tea. But not to mention, it was like proven that her like shots of like her face being messed up, her makeup artist had like painted that on, like had done like, like makeup like for a film to look like she had been beaten up. And like this came out, and it's like she's just still, I don't know, she's a nutcase.
Yeah, she's a total nutcase. I want to read this though,
Okay.
because the Black Jedi has seen it. No, wrong one. The Black Jedi.
It's already live. I'm good.
The Snyder Cut destroyed Whedon's.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I'm very excited for this movie. But Yeti, is there anything else kind of you want to say? Anything that stands out this movie that you want to pick on? Since we're just here to pick on this movie, clearly.
There's so much that you brought up that I forgot that was terrible. Let's see.
That Amber Turd stuff really got us off track.
Okay.
But people are thinking of this now when they watch the movie.
Yeah, it's
problematic for Aquaman or anything at this point.
The Aquaman scene where he first sees Batman, he gets into the water, and then he just like does a backflip. It does not look graceful. It just looks like a kid just jumping onto his back in the water and make a splash. That I could not take him seriously.
And it's just like, I get that Aquaman, and don't get me wrong, I think Jason Momoa is an incredibly attractive man.
Yeah.
But it's almost like I feel like they went a little too hard. It's like they play like the rock and roll music. I mean, he's got nothing short of like a leather jacket, like a cig, and like, like his whiskey, and he's like, back in black. He literally has the whiskey, literally. And then he like you said, does that flop into the water after this like epic walk down the board, the boardwalk.
And after he's like put Batman in his place for being stupid.
Right. Like, go get back in your cave.
I think that's a different flop. There are several flops in this movie. And one, he's just literally standing in the water close to shore and then just jumps backwards.
He's like, cannonball!
That was it. That is the scene.
And then he just like jets off. Well,
yeah.
And too, like the camera, like it has him like he's like backing up in the water, like looking all stoic. It's all a mess. It really is.
Like sometimes he plays it a little too macho man. Like, like it's just like, we get it. Like, you've got your whiskey and your cig.
He doesn't have a cig in the movie.
He does break the bottle, though. He slams it to the ground once he finishes, because that's what badass people do. But you think he'd be a little bit more sensitive to that, being in the sea all the time. He's breaking glass there. He'd probably step on that the next time he comes back to shore.
You'd think he would care about one of his little fish friends, like possibly ingesting it or something. Come on, man.
Fish died as a result of that move. Well, yeah, there's just so many frustrating scenes in this movie. And it's just you really have to wonder, like, well, and that's what's going to be so interesting as we're kind of winding down, like what we think about tomorrow's movie when it comes out. Because this could look really bad in a way on Warner Brothers.
Interesting, Josh.
Because they just totally did away with Zack Snyder's version. Didn't even ask him to tweak some things, really. Yeah. And we got this version.
Yeah.
And it was bad.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
I really want to know what type of impact this is going to have with Warner Bros. Because they seem to despise Zack Snyder. Like, at this point,
do.
The way that have kind of avoided him, and it doesn't seem like they're promoting the movie that much.
Yeah,
it seems very buried. And because I don't think there's commercials on the Superman show. It's just, it's been announced, but they don't seem to support it. The most support that the movie has been through AT&T, and that's because they're like, oh, I think there's money here.
Yep.
They don't know what else to do with it because they're not a studio. But Warner Bros. Just doesn't seem to care about money.
No. In fact, and even
they're like, we just do this for fun.
Like, well, and
we actually like to lose money.
I think that's one of the things too, Yeti, when I've gone back and I've watched Zack Snyder's movies, which to me, they've grown on me every time I've watched them. Like, I like them more. One of the things I've said this in other discussions we've had, one of the things I so appreciate is that he seems to be very apolitical. Like, he doesn't push any form of politics. And it almost seems like today that's probably held against him. And I definitely think by the critics.
I was going to say, like, are there any guesses as to maybe like why he's not liked, or?
Because here's something too. It's like you said, do they just hate money? Because when they went away from Zack Snyder, they lost a significant amount of money from Batman v Superman to what they made with this. Yeah. So, like, people clearly, actually, even though there might have been people who didn't like Batman v Superman, which there are plenty of, but it's like there still were enough that it made more people really didn't like this.
Oh yeah, I would take Batman versus Superman over Birds of Prey or Wonder Woman 84 any day. Any day. I don't care. I would rewatch that just over and over before I would touch those other ones.
Do you know, I have to, renounce. I don't know if that's the right word.
You renounce your wish.
I renounce but something right now. I feel like back when we just had a podcast and Birds of Prey had just come out, I gave it a pretty good review. And it's not that I still think it was fun, but looking back, it was like Michelle.
Cancel.
We talked about this recently. It was like, I did think about the fact, I'm like, man, it was just too in your face that like cringy that like men are bad. And there's like not one good male character, like they're all bad.
Yeah.
And it's just like too far. It's too much.
And the way that the male dialogue was written, I won't repeat it, but if you guys remember the first, I think it's the first thing a guy says in the film when they're in that nightclub, and he says it to Harley Quinn. It's just,
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I know he says a lot of cringy stuff.
I think I probably know what you're talking about, because there are just like,
the only thing I'll say, he was like kind of evil, but he did make me laugh.
Well, you're talking about Black Mask.
This wasn't Black Mask. This was just,
it was just a random dude.
Okay.
Yeah. And he was just overly degrading. And I don't think I've ever heard any guy openly say that, especially in that context. It was delivered poorly. I don't know.
I'm curious. I want to go back and watch.
Now she's like, what did they say?
I know, because probably like when I'll see it, I'll be like, oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
You'd probably realize it and remember immediately as soon as, like, oh, okay, yeah.
But
the whole movie was like that, and it tried so desperately hard to be Deadpool.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it was pretty similar as far as the way they cut it and things like that. Definitely.
But they didn't understand Deadpool, so it didn't work.
Because Deadpool is like he's not politically correct. Like he says things that almost make you are like, oh, like he said he went there. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Deadpool actually is funny.
Yeah, it's really
really
funny.
funny.
And he gets hurt. He actually gets hit. Because I don't think there's only one scene where someone gets hit, but that's because it's out of the blue, it's a trap, and then it gets hit. But during every single fight, there's not a single point where any of those women end up getting hit, and that just doesn't happen in a fight. If you're in a fight, you're going to get hit.
Yeah,
it matters what you do after you get hit.
Like just like flawlessly taking on a group of police, like trained policemen by yourself, you know,
or thugs. These aren't small guys too. It's 220-pound guys throwing punches, and it's just a flawless victory.
And she's like, "I got my bat, that's all I need." Right.
Yeah, it
was a bit much after I processed it.
Yeah,
but you're right. It's like the studio, and I hope, and as the Black Jedi put in the stream, as long as people seem to definitely like this better, I really wish that they would. I like the Zack Snyder stuff, and maybe even if they want to tweak some things with Superman or things like that, I really do wish they would continue on with this if the fans like it, and they would give the fans what the fans want, basically.
Well, that's the reason why they won't. And I think why the media has been so against this being released, because it's basically giving fans power. And, the media has had power on what gets made. That's why Wonder Woman 84 came out. It wasn't fans asking for that type of story. Nobody wanted a CW love story in their Wonder Woman movie. But, Mary Sue comes out, is like, oh, this is women empowerment. So that's the movie you get.
Yeah, Yeti, I've got to admit, I have tears in my eyes right now. You're from Canada, right?
Yeah.
The Canadians just came out. And you said,
sorry, what? I did not follow.
I didn't either, yay.
Yeah, this is what you get on YouTube. You get people laughing, crying. You said against, but it came out.
Against. No, you know what? I didn't even know you were from Canada until Michelle told me, and this was after we had done it the first time. We have another friend that we've collabed with, Pat. No, it's not Pat. It's Charles.
Yeah, Charles is from Canada.
But and I watch Canadian YouTubers sometimes, like even on like makeup videos and stuff. And there's one, like the only thing I'll really notice, like most of it's almost like an American accent practically, but she'll be like, the bag, or like, it'll, I can't even do it. It's like the way she says bag. And this,
say what?
Like, like you carry a bag, it'll be like, she'll be like, I threw it in my bag. Or like, I can't say it. See, I think you say it like American or like more.
Well, Natalie, Canada's no different than America.
Yeah, I'm sure there's
places.
Like different areas, like you got different accents.
She's probably a Newfie. Bag.
Probably.
Yeah. So, there's, or just on the East Coast, because that's where the real differences in is the dialect comes out, is right on that coast. You have the more pronounced words like bar, car, that the A gets, drawn out.
Now I feel like I've embarrassed you, Yeti, but I don't know why. It just I cry.
No, I'm not embarrassed.
I noticed you're like losing over there, and I was kind of confused as to what you're losing it at.
It's been a long day. I'm probably a little delirious, and for whatever reason, it gave me a good laugh. So it's appreciated.
Hey, I want to go to Canada. I think Canada is beautiful. I just I thought you were just northern. Like I knew you had a little accent, but like okay,
I have an accent.
Okay, you're talking loud again.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I can't control the volume of my voice.
I don't know why I went Pee Wee Herman for that too, but it happened. But okay,
Talk normal.
be honest. Be honest with this Yeti.
Now we're going ASMR.
Just talking a normal voice.
Do we sound like Southern to you? Like, do you hear us and think like, man, they sound
yes.
like,
Yes.
do we?
Oh yeah, you got the Tennessee twang.
That's probably the way I would word it, because what's so funny is like if you come around here, we actually don't have much of an accent at all.
Because people talk, they talk like this.
Okay, not everyone talks like that.
Not everyone talks, and then some people, they talk real fast, like they went to the truck and they got their cigs and they got.
And not everyone talks like that. Maybe a full stereotype.
So around here, I remember giving a presentation. I was in a speech class in college, and the teacher was like, "Do you have any questions for Natalie about her subject?" Which I think was like, some sort of doctor or something. And then a guy raises his hand, and I'm like, "Yes," and he's like, "Where are you from? You from California? You sound weird." I was like, well, my parents are from Ohio, but I've lived here my whole life, but I guess comparatively, we don't sound that Southern compared to me.
No,
if that makes sense.
But he worded it right, like a twang.
Yeah, but you hear I'm
Definitely.
other people, but then I go to Florida, like I'm in like Miami, and they said, "Where are you from?" And I said, "I'm from Tennessee," just like that. And she said, "I'm from Tennessee." And I was like, gosh, I didn't know I sounded like that.
You don't. So
I'm just waiting for you to tell me it's all good, sugar.
See, and I think that's because our parents weren't raised here. We don't use any of the slang.
Yeah, it's like our parents are from
I'm
Ohio,
so disappointed.
My grandfather's from Chicago, so it's like I guess we weren't quite the typical Southerners growing, I don't know, because it's a little bit different culture.
But that's the thing, like with accents, because like even you, Yeti, it's like you don't have like a strong accent, but yet I can hear it's Northern. And then I heard you say it's Canadian. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. Like,
yeah.
I love how our Justice League decision combo has turned into the accent conversation.
You know what? The best ones always drift off to weird places.
Oh, I'm good with it. It's interesting.
If it makes you feel better after Michelle has made fun. No,
I wasn't making fun of him. It just made me laugh.
I actually genuinely, I'm not just saying this blowing smoke or to make you feel better. You have like a really strong voice. Like,
yeah,
you have like a really good voice. So it's like a good voice for YouTube and like to broadcast, or like you just have a good, like strong male voice. So
thank you.
For what it's worth.
Now I'm gonna go purposely deeper,
I'm just saying I dig it.
Yeah, I want it on the record that I was not making fun of Yeti. I just got caught off guard and something made me laugh. It happens. It happens in church sometimes. It happens at random places, okay?
I'm so offended now. I am hurt on the inside.
Yeah, that's on a personal cancel them cancel.
He gets in a shower tonight and just cries.
No, I just like this is probably this is probably stuff we should be saying backstage, but it's just like you're one of my favorite guests we ever have. Like you're just so much fun.
You just heard all of our guests.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to do. I love everybody that we've had on. I mean, just like, but you're just really funny. Not that other people aren't.
I'm just better than the rest. That's all. That's all they're saying. I am better than the rest of their guests. Not to offend anyone.
Like Tina Turner comes on. Screamers.
Look, you got one of our other fantastic guests.
What can I say? We love our British friend too. I mean, you live in America now, but you're still British.
Yeah, apparently we just love people from other countries.
I guess that's our thing, like subconsciously.
I'm sorry, Mark, but they have spoken.
Oh, let's see. I don't know why I just got so excited saying let's see. Oh, Marcos, or is it? Let's see. Go up. He was saying, like, asking about like when we'd get like monetized or like be able to do super chat.
Oh yes, that's what. As of this morning, I think we needed around 800 hours. So if you guys don't mind in the chat, if you have a computer, just put us on autoplay tonight and play through all of our videos. Let them play continuously in a way that doesn't like take away from your cell phone or whatever. And then we could probably be there. I mean, because 800 hours is like, dang, that's a lot of hours.
That's a long time.
Oh, you'll get there probably by the end of the week.
Wait,
You
we
really will.
I hope so. We can use that encouragement.
Yeah, no, I think you will. And there's no doubt because the streams are fun. So, I mean, why wouldn't people be watching?
Well, that is a good point. Yeah. I mean, you never know.
You're so sweet.
You never know what we're going to talk about. I may begin to laugh at our guest unexpectedly. Natalie may almost get us canceled at the beginning. We may talk about accents for 10 minutes out of the segment.
Okay, I'm sorry to the baby in Florida. Okay, I'm sorry right now to that baby.
You know, I did have one person. They were in Canada. They told me that they thought I sounded like I was from Texas. You know,
really?
I did not understand that, but that was like one of the places, and they were Canadian, so I don't know what was going on there.
Do you know? And I see Mark and then Shabby Geek in the comments.
This is a true story. We've both been told this. Weirdly enough, I have no idea why.
For starters, I used to get offended when people are like, "Where are you from?" Because that's why the way you word it, I embrace, because I accept the fact, guys, that I have a twang, especially at times on certain words. But it's like
when you hear some of the accents around here, trust us, you don't want to be.
Well, and you almost can take offense at it because people associate a Southern accent with being
stupid. Yeah,
like it does. So you can almost take offense. But I've learned through the years, people come up to me, especially when I lived in Atlanta, and there's so many people from different places, and they'd be like, "Where are you from?" And I just finally began to say, "Where do you think I'm from?" And I began to get Eastern Europe. Like, it was very specific. And it was like, so I learned it was physical, but this is what I was going to say too on the accent thing, since we're here. Since both Marks are in the chat. I literally, at the gym in Atlanta, had a British man walk up to me. He heard me.
So like he knew the accent because
he was British. And he heard me speak. And he was like, I don't want to do a British accent.
He's like, "Oh, you British?"
Yeah, he's like, do I hear a British accent? And I was like, "No, I'm actually from Tennessee."
Girl, he was just trying to pick you up.
Are these people deaf? Like, you know, no offense, but I mean, there is no way that is British. And what part of Eastern Europe has that type of accent? Honestly.
Well, that's where I started to feel like it was just from the way I look.
And then we both gotten asked when we're together, like, "Oh, are you Russian?" And it's like, what makes us look Russian?
Oh, so Mark's Dutch. Sorry, Mark, I got that one wrong.
Our mistake.
Like gold member. I love gold.
You know what surprises me is I seem to know more about like the USA dialects than people living in the USA. That is very confusing to me right now.
Well, yeah, no, I think that is the case, because it's like so many places, especially I feel like with Southerners, people really don't understand the accents of the states. When Hollywood tries to go for it, it's usually bad. Yeah, but usually. A black Jedi just on black. That's his accent.
I love it.
And that's fine.
That's cool. You gotta own it.
It's always funny though, a black Jedi, when I meet a black person that has a very country accent, it throws me off every time.
You do meet them around here.
You do occasionally. What were you going to say, Yeti? I threw you off.
I have no idea what I was going to say.
After that you just...
Oh, I think it was probably going to be, what does a black accent sound like?
That we're going to have to bring him on the show one day. That's going to be our first question when we have a black Jedi.
I know it's coming for you when you come on the show.
So the first time you're on the show, you're going to be asked to define what is a black accent.
You've got some explaining to do.
I'd be afraid to try and imitate it because I think whatever I do, it'd just be cancel worthy. It'd be taken so out of context. I'd be done forever.
It definitely would. I mean, now we're just becoming a trio guy. Where did it go? Now we're just the trio. We got Michelle Nadley, the Red, and Yeti.
I mean, we are. No, I'm not going to say what I was about to say. I meant it innocently, but it was going to come out not innocently.
She had to pump the brakes.
I did.
Things are getting a little spicy.
There are. I can affirm that.
That comes with Force of Life after dark. Check out that new channel.
Paid memberships only.
That's when we get monetized and we have memberships. That's what that comes with.
And Mom, no, you can't be part of that.
Oh my god. And now things just got weird. We were okay before that point. Now it's weird.
Gosh, well, guys, we've gone over what I was going to keep it to because I know right now.
There we go. That's more what I was trying to say, but it was going to come out
exactly. I know right now on, I believe one of the Geeks and Gamers channels, Zack Snyder he's on a live stream actually right now. So I was for us to kind of begin to close this out. So any of the Snyder fans who haven't already left can go check out the Snyder situation. It's a fundraiser they're doing for suicide awareness.
We've got these faithful ones in here that are like just literally listening to us talk about nonsense.
Hey, they're joining in with us. I enjoy it.
Let's see. I'm from Boston. When people meet me and I speak, I always get, you sound like you're from New York. I get so bad.
Come on. No. Those
They're
accents
very different
are so
accents.
different.
Yeah,
They
So
are
different.
true.
Very different accents.
You've got a point.
Yeah, Bill Burr's Boston.
Yeah. Plus-
and the people in the
Plus,
northern
you
states
got somebody from. Sorry.
Oh no, you go on. Go on.
Oh.
Yes,
No,
Bill Burr is
it's done.
very
It's done. Oh.
But yeah, no, our brother lives in Cleveland, Ohio, so he's basically Canadian. But yeah, they had very strong northern accents.
I would not have pictured Cleveland as a northern accent place at all.
It depends on where they are. Like some of them begin to get more the true northern accent because, like, say a lot of places in Ohio, it's very mild of any form of accent.
Right, like where our parents are from.
Yeah. I love how we just fully, and even the chat's encouraging us with the accent discussion.
People are like, for the love of God, shut up about the accent.
Oh my god. Yeah. There's so many things that I don't get where people are coming from. But my favorite one is
Yeti, I think you're having.
Please help.
Okay, now you're back. You were in robot voice.
So basically, just repeat everything you just said.
I was going to say that I love the stereotype of the Minnesota accent.
Yeah,
Minnesota.
Yeah.
I like that
Minnesota. Yeah.
Let's have a soda in Minnesota.
It's half Canadian, half I don't know,
Right.
polar bear.
Okay, so I have to tell a quick funny story. All right.
My gosh.
And then I promise we'll stop me and my stories. Okay, so we were in Ohio visiting my dad's mother, our grandmother, but she's actually from the hills of Kentucky. So they have their own thing going on. Okay. So
those hills have eyes.
There was.
I think he said the hills have eyes.
Yes, there's a lot going on there, and she was literally from up in the hills. Very dangerous. But so she had like instead of flower, it's like flower, and like a chair is like a char, and like
Char.
like a shower is like a shower. So like, my brother being like the teenage boy he is, like we're all in the back of like my dad's car and she's in the front. And, like, he's clearly not really listening to what she's saying. And she's saying, I just want him to be judged fairly. That's what she was trying to say. But what it sounded like was, I just want him to be judged fairly. And then my brother looks up and he says, who's Judge Farley?
That is a true story.
And she's like, judged fairly.
Now it's almost going Irish.
It really does, though. Like the flower, the shower, my her.
Well, it is kind of funny because you can actually, we'll end on this with the accents. You can actually tell throughout the United States of where different European countries.
I think that's what it is. I think that's like
gravitated
why,
towards.
yeah, like different accents formed.
Like Southern, I know maybe Southern is actually, people may not think this, but you're probably thinking of a redneck speak, not a Southerner. Southern is actually the most similar to British, actually,
Right.
in ways, in its proper form. And then
And the redneck speak is dirty British.
it's like the dirty British. Sometimes I can hear the dirty British and kind of more the redneck talk of the South.
Right.
And it actually is a fact that the British settlers kind of went more south.
And then I think Granny, the Kentucky woman, I think she is like, they are Irish.
Well,
So
the Irish began to gravitate more up and like going further north in places.
right.
And I think even kind of in the Minnesota accent, maybe. I don't know. We're not sure about the Minnesota.
We're gonna do some research on this.
But all the accents are wonderful, guys.
They're all great, and I'm not putting down. I mean, I live in the South. I'm not putting down Southern accents.
I didn't think anybody was putting down any accent. I
No,
didn't think so.
It's all in good fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes things more spicy. The accent.
The thing I learned today is British men like going down. That's what I learned from your talk.
Oh, gosh.
and they're speechless. That awkward silence is brought to you by Yeticast.
He's like, God,
You blew us away. Are you saying like they like going down?
They like going down south.
Oh my god!
he meant going down south.
No, that's what I was gonna say, and then I'm like, that could be.
Yeah, that was the point. That was the point.
Gotcha.
It was a word catch anyway. We swung that one.
Nice Yeticast. What's happening to this channel?
And then I think it was, the Irish liked more of the mountain slopes.
It's gone straight into the. Mom, I hope you're not.
The channel was Yeticast.
It turned into Yeti food.
It did turn into Yeti food. But I think that we can close it on this. But thank you to everyone in the chat. If there's anyone in the chat or anyone who still happens to be watching this,
Oh no.
God bless you.
God bless you. But
God have mercy on your soul.
But definitely go, if you enjoy a good roast,
Yes.
definitely check out Yeticast channel. The description is or his link is in our description. Fantastic channel. Will make
Yes.
you laugh. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So go
As
subscribe
I'm sure
to
you can
Yeticast.
tell us sampled here, he will make you laugh.
He will.
He
Yeah,
doesn't hold back.
Come subscribe. Love to have you on the channel, and thank you for inviting me. I always love our chats. They are so much fun, and I'm so happy to see you guys rising and all the success that you have.
Thank you
very
so much. Yeah, this is the second, but it won't be the last time.
Yeah, it definitely won't be the last. I need some
No.
more laughs in my life.
Yeah, we'll have to get you on one of my streams where we go off the rails, and I don't know. Yeah, well, basically the exact same as this. We have some loose subjects, but somehow it ends up, I don't know, jokes everywhere and just totally off subject.
Well, and I have to be careful. Michelle's always like told me from the start of us doing this, she's like, Natalie, rein it in,
Because
rein it
I can
in.
see it with Natalie. When I see it going, I'm like, oh gosh, where's this gonna go?
Oh no, you have to let it go. Don't rein it in.
Ah.
Just be free. Be free. Unchain those shackles.
No, Natalie's the queen though of like one step too far, where it's not even funny. It's just like she knows she went one step too far, and we're just like, huh.
Like even my coworker will be like, "Oh, she took it there."
Oh, that makes it even better. That makes it so much better.
I told you I'm the queen of awkward.
And have you heard some of my jokes? Like there are some of them that I question whether or not I should have told them. So I think you're okay.
Say.
I think it's happened to everyone, I would say, at some point in their life.
Hey, with comedy, you got to take a chance. You know.
I have more that I'm going to try and get out today. And there's a couple jokes that, you're going to have to tell me if they landed or if I need to delete the video immediately.
Right.
Because, yeah, there's a couple. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it, but it does make me laugh a little bit. So.
We'll definitely. I'll definitely be watching it. I'm curious. So in the chat, definitely again subscribe to Yeticast and see what he's got. But yeah, we would love to come on your stream sometime. I think soon we're planning on it, and we'll have you back for sure to discuss. We'll have a topic, but maybe we'll end up on accents again. So.
I'm sure there's other things we can talk about, geese or moose or
just something totally random. Maple syrup. I mean, just anything.
We'll definitely do that.
Octopus are actually aliens.
They really seem that way.
They really disgust
They're really
me,
gross.
to be honest.
Oh, no, true story. That their DNA does not match up with the DNA that evolved on Earth. So
I can believe it.
Scientists postulate that the DNA came from off this world. You know, it would have been brought by a meteorite, something like that.
Have you ever seen one give birth?
Oh
my God.
So we'll end on that, guys.
Like the tentacles are. I mean,
no. Oh, that's brutal.
Oh my God. Like, okay, that is a good way to end things.
On that note.
Thanks for. So thank you for checking out this channel, and we appreciate everyone who's been playing our videos to help us get to 4,000 watch hours. So we've helped ourselves tonight with how long we've gone. So
those of you that have stuck in here, we thank you.
We do. Yeah.
Because this was crazy.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to our guest Yeticast, who we'll have on again.
Anytime.
But that is it for today's show. We will see you guys this week. Friday, we are going to be releasing our just kind of maybe 10 to 15 minute Snyder Cut reaction recap type situation. And then Saturday, we are going to have a live stream with Rob from Jedi Temple Archives podcast. He's going to be on with us, and we're going to have more discussion about the Snyder Cut.
We will dissect the movie.
Yes, on Saturday at 7 p.m.
Like an octopus.
Yeah,
like an octopus.
So definitely tune into that. But thanks for tuning in today. And as always, remember to be a force of light. All right. Bye, guys.